Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to round 14, episode 31. And this week here we have a nice little topic to talk about. We'll go over in a second. But I was chatting with Stacy over at the Rocky Files last week, and I liked the fact that she understood the meaning of the round 14 name for our podcast. She was saying on how many different topics we could talk about, and it kind of involves the same thing. It's round 14, which obviously everybody knows in the Rocky movie, that was the deciding factor in his life, was to get up after Apollo knocked him down in that round, and Mickey was telling him to get up, and he didn't. And whether it be Maverick in Top Gun or plenty of other characters in movies, everybody has a round 14. So I was kind of glad to hear that she got it, and I hope a lot of the rest of you got it as well, because that was the meaning of it behind naming that round 14. So last week's episode obviously was pretty short. Like I said, there's only so much talking you can do when you're alone. But there's somebody else I brought in to help me out, who's more talking than I can, who could definitely chat up some more words and whatnot and help me with the conversation. She's definitely not the top chatterbox in my family, but she's close. So I'm going to bring in my daughter, Sophia.
Hi. Hello.
Who's going to help me out here and probably be the better half of this, I'm sure. But she's definitely going to help us out with the podcast. So tell us a little bit about yourself there, Miss Sophia.
I will take the chatterbox as a compliment. You know, it just means better eloquent speaking, I guess. But, yeah, so I'm over here in Orlando, just in college, second year. So yeah, I've just been taking a bunch of English classes, and throughout the thematic messaging of like every English story is the underdog is,
That's right.
It's all the same. It's really all the same.
It is. And she grew up with a lot of Rocky quotes and movies, and, you know, she'll say, Dad, can I have scrambled eggs? Or like, keep moving forward, Sophia. You can make them.
I'm like 5. I'm like
into the refrigerator, finding the
Too funny.
So, but yeah, so tell them about your paper, that this is why we're doing that this episode.
Yes.
What is it about?
So, as I mentioned, I am an English major, and my English class this semester is called American Icons. And we went into the class with what even is an icon in America? How can you even truly define that? Like, there are so many different ones. Like, we have the cheerleader, the detective, the Western. But then there was an assignment to find a gap in which that wasn't in the syllabus. So you had to come up with an archetype or an icon that was not in the syllabus.
Okay.
And we're watching Rambo. And so the archetype for that one is the soldier. But I thought the more obvious.
Let me interrupt just a second.
Go ahead.
So which Rambo are you watching? You
First Blood. First Blood.
See, so that is why they're watching First Blood, not the other Rambos, because they're talking about the soldier.
Yes.
More so of than the battle machine.
Yes. But I thought the more obvious one would be the underdog. And so we just got to talking, and then things panned out, and he was like, why don't we come talk about it on here? So here I am within the crazy schedule that we've been trying to do this for a couple days.
Really, everybody that's watching the show needs to thank her, because she has a full-time job. She is a full-time RA. She's a resident assistant, so she has to keep everybody in line. Being bossy is definitely one of Sophia's fortes.
I would say organized.
A
leader.
Then, of course, full-time student. So she's just squeezing in an hour here to do this show for me, because can't do it alone when I can't. So it's hard to do it alone. I tried already 2 episodes. Everybody's probably like, yeah, okay, thanks, Tony. Next. Thanks for coming.
My dad talking for more than 5 minutes.
Exactly. That's the funny part. See, they don't know that I'm not like this. I'm an introvert. I'm not very social.
Too funny.
But anyway, so yeah, so the underdog, I mean, the underdog goes back a long way. We have the ultimate underdog of David and Goliath, which
I wanted to name a dog David and Goliath, and you looked at me like I was crazy.
Yes, because it has to be Rocky and Apollo and Paulie, and we should get like 9 dogs. We used to have Rocco and Mickey, and now
we had Sly.
Yeah, and then we had Sly, right?
Yeah.
And then we stopped.
And then it went south.
Yeah. Then we let Ava, or my youngest daughter, name the dog, and she is a big Superman fan who's
I would not say he's an underdog. He is not an underdog
by any means, but so we named him Kal-El. So that's it's a good name. But anyway, so David and Goliath, obviously the little guy beat the giant story, and that's kind of why it stemmed from there. It's a story that can be told, and it's timeless. No matter where you insert the underdog and the big, you could be one person suing a big mega company for their wrongdoing, like an Aaron Brockovich or something, and they win. Or it could be, it is applied a lot in sports, of course.
Well, yeah.
Back in the 1980 Winter Olympics, the American hockey team had no business playing the Russian hockey team. The Russian hockey team, again, here we'll go back to Rocky. Right. And that's a perfect example because the Russian hockey team was Ivan Drago compared to the little American hockey team who was Rocky.
Yeah.
But it's about the heart in you, not about, sometimes how big they are, how fast they are. So tell us about some of the things you're going to touch base on in the paper and how you're going to implement
that's
it.
where I was kind of coming in here. I need some ideas because basically what we do is we take a piece of text. It has to be a piece of text, and then it goes into a piece of visual. That could be art. It could be short film, a movie, TV series, whatever. So we did for like the difference in Western ideology, we did Brokeback Mountain. So, cause it's obviously a book and then a movie. So it has to be something like that, but they don't have to be related. So they could be text to visuals.
Okay.
So for the underdog, my text was going to be David and Goliath, funny enough, because that's the origin of it. It's what it's all about. And then for the films though, I'm debating if I should do the second Rocky 2 or the first one. Because the first one, while he is the underdog and everything, he doesn't win at the end. You know what I mean?
That's a big discussion amongst Rocky fans and amongst film fans because that was the key point. He did win. He didn't beat Apollo, but he did win.
He won his battles.
He showed, number one, he wasn't just another bum from the neighborhood. He showed he could get up and go the distance. Remember when he came back from being in the ring alone, he said, I can't beat him. And he goes, all I want to do is go the distance. Nobody's ever gone the distance with Creed. And that he did that. So he proved that to himself. And then, of course, the ultimate win was Adrian telling him she loves him, and he won the girl.
Yeah.
So he did win as an underdog, but no, he didn't beat Apollo.
He didn't win the round, but he won the movie. He won
in life.
His goals.
His self-respect and his ideas of being, he won. So sometimes the underdog doesn't have to win the game or the fight, but they may have won inside themselves. So you could look at it like that. Whenever it's sports, it's always the winner and the loser that people talk about. But sometimes, like this next clip I'll pop up here. This next clip here was about a movie about Kurt Warner, the football player, and the movie is called American Underdog. And he was a football player that had tried to play football, tried to play pro ball. A lot of things kept happening. Life got in the way. And he wound up actually working in a grocery store and saw that there was tryouts for a football team. And it wasn't the NFL. It was like a little other pro team that was arena football. And so he went there. And then long story short, wound up going with the Rams, winning the starting job, winning the Super Bowl.
Wow. He went 0 to 100.
He did it all. I mean, it's an amazing story. That film actually sums it up very well, but Kurt Warner is an amazing story. He went through a lot of adversity in life and then won the Super Bowl, won MVP of the Super Bowl. So it's easier to compare it in sports than it is in anything else. But again, it doesn't have to be, you could be an underdog where you were diagnosed with a disease or a sickness that you have.
And you just battle yourself.
You have 6 months to live. And no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not living only 6 months, and you're going to do what you can. There's a movie that was on Netflix, and I don't know if it's still on. It's actually a documentary.
You told me about this.
Called The C Word. And a man had cancer, and he was given 16, I don't remember what it was. It was a very short period of time to live. So he made dietary changes, and he made exercise changes and health changes and so forth and so on, and wound up extending that 16-month or whatever the period was to like 10 years. And
which is insane.
Eventually it did get him, but you get told you're going to die next year or you're going to die in 20 years. Who's not going to take the 20 years?
Yeah.
So it could be what you make of it. But you can change it into however you want to change it. Like I said, Erin Brockovich was a young lady that went up against the big corporations for poisoning their water. It was based on a true story.
Silent Pond, right?
It's the movie was Erin Brockovich.
Oh,
I'm not sure about the book. It could be anything that you're going up against that's bigger than you. And you're going to have the heart and the soul and the integrity and the desire and the drive to keep moving forward. Like the quote says, you don't stop.
So talking about that, but, because obviously the Underdog is such an it's an American icon, whether she wants to put it in the syllabus and make my one the winner or not. It is an American icon.
And you could win. Very easily could win.
You never know.
It is.
But, going off that, would you say, because another topic of conversation is adaptations, and not adaptations in the sense of like the remakes that Disney's doing now or stuff like that. That's just a remake. That's not an adaptation. Mm-hmm. But would you say, because Rocky's obviously not based off an original text, like Sylvester Stallone wrote it himself.
He wrote the script for the film. Correct.
Would you say that there has been an adaptation of Rocky in some way, or is it just no one wants to tackle that beast? It's just its own.
Would somebody, you mean remake Rocky?
No, I guess in a sense Creed is an adaptation of Rocky. That's kind of what I'm getting at. Was
a little bit, yeah, take on it. But I mean, if you're talking, because he wrote the Rocky films for the film. I mean, there was no book before then that he even based it on. He actually based it on an actual fight that he was watching with Muhammad Ali. And then, like you said, Creed is a little bit an extension of.
Yeah, I feel like that's a better word.
But I wouldn't say it's an adaptation would be like Jaws. Peter Benchley wrote Jaws, and then they made the movie Jaws. There is a very different in the book and the movie in that film. And again, that's a very odd way of putting a underdog into that.
Man versus nature.
The underdog in that film is obviously Captain Brody, Chief Brody, I'm sorry, against a gigantic shark.
The great white.
It is. It's a 25-foot great white shark, and this one man is against him. So talk about an underdog. I mean, you knowing a lot about film, there's only so many topics as man versus man.
Man versus himself.
Man versus
nature.
Man versus, that's it. Those are the three storylines that have to happen. And an underdog could be applied to every one of them. Mm-hmm. A drug addict on his deathbed who makes good and gets out of it and stops and becomes successful with himself. Man versus man. Yep. And it could be an underdog. Man versus nature, a hurricane, or surviving a tornado or a shark. And then of course,
internal battles.
I'm sorry?
I said even like an internal battle. It doesn't have to be something visual. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Yeah. But there's so many films that you can revolve into the underdog role. And of course, there's plenty of books that you can do that with as well.
Yeah, for sure. But
what else did you plan on doing with that? So when is it due?
So it's called like a tournament where basically everyone's ideas coming in, and me, I like to not play dirty, but gather intel on what everyone else is doing. Okay. There's no cheating. We do not cheat in this household.
Of course not.
No. But I do gather intel. So I've heard through the grapevines, cause it's like a secret, cause whoever wins gets extra credit.
Information is power. I mean,
Exactly. So there's the entrepreneur, which I think is a really good one. That is a good American icon, because the American dream, it's the American dream, is to be self-made.
Yep.
So I've heard that one. I've heard a stupid one, like the athlete. I was like, come on, we have the cheerleader already. That's like the same thing.
Well, yeah, but it's not. It is, but it's not. I mean, it is but
it's not an American icon.
I wouldn't say it should go on the syllabus, but why else would you think the underdog belongs on the syllabus?
Because even when we just said the entrepreneur is a good one and it's the American dream, the underdog is the American dream. You are an underdog when you're trying to achieve that. Mm-hmm. Even if you aren't an immigrant and you're just here and you come from some household that isn't the best, or you went through a rough patch in life, but you're trying to make yourself better in the end.
Sure.
It's all an underdog story. And that is what defines America, is to kind of make yourself, and almost, I know we are an individualist society, but do it yourself and get through it. Like you say, I hate it. Keep moving forward.
Yeah, that's it. It gets applied to everything.
Bite my tongue every time I almost say it.
You're like, I hate that he's right. God. No, but it's so true, because if you come from a broken background, you know, a parent is a drug addict or in prison, or you don't have a normal or healthy, I should say, upbringing, and you decide, you know, I'm not going to become like these people. I'm going to become successful in my own right. Whether that success means you open your own bakery, you become a police officer, you start a
family you're proud of. It doesn't even have to be something money.
Exactly. Or just have a family you could be proud of. And it's true. The odds are stacked against that person. Mm-hmm. And what does that mean? You're an underdog.
Exactly.
It's that simple. You know, this Sunday's the Super Bowl. The Giants played the Patriots, who were undefeated, 16-0. The Giants didn't have a shot of beating them.
Let's not talk about the Giants and the Eagles right now. That was an awful game.
Talk about the Giants and the Eagles. I didn't talk about the Eagles.
I know. I'm saying
it wasn't the game.
That was our last game.
The point is that nobody gave them a chance to win, and they won. So it's really just, if you have the heart, the drive, the character, and just a no quit attitude, like of course all the Rocky quotes say. You know, you're not going to give in. You're going to go one more round, even when you don't want to. When you don't want to go one more round, then you do. That's what makes a difference.
Yeah.
And you could stand up against a 9-foot Russian giant, know that he's going to beat you to the pulp, and keep going in there. You know, there was a movie called Rudy, which was based on a true story. And he wanted to play Notre Dame football, and he's tiny, little guy.
A lot of football movies today.
Yeah. Little tiny guy. And he made it on the team. Hey, Underdog was even around when I was a little boy in cartoons. I don't know if you remember that. You don't remember, because I know others out there, you remember. Some of these people that watch the show, I know you're going to know this.
What is this? What is this? What is this?
Underdog.
What is that?
It was kind of based on Superman, because he had the glasses and the suit on, and he was all nerdy.
Which is funny, because Superman is not an underdog.
I know. I don't know why they call him.
Yeah, that is really weird.
But Underdog, I remember him. He flew around saving people. But it was good. So okay, so you did your intel, and you found out that there's going to be an entrepreneur. There was that's a good choice.
I feel like that's my biggest competition, is the entrepreneur.
Well, what else was there?
Well, there's the entrepreneur, like I said, the athlete, which is so-so, and then there's this one, which I'm like, you're basically saying the underdog, but you're not. It's like the individual. I was like, what are you even saying? So my competition's looking a little.
The underdog, though. I mean, being an individual and being your own person. You know, somebody that walks by and you're going, "Oh my God, you see how that girl's dressed, and she wants to be a fashion designer."
Yeah,
that doesn't really necessarily mean she's an underdog to become a fashion designer, but she's an individual. I mean, not bad. I out of the list you've given, I think.
Yeah, on the syllabus is like the classic ones: the housewife, the cheerleader, like I said, the soldier, like basic things that you see in kids' cartoons, movies, stuff like that. The princess is another one that's on the syllabus already.
The princess?
Like the Disney princess, that kind of thing is on there.
But you know what's so funny about what you're saying is that every one of them can be labeled an underdog, and that could be your argument to that.
Ooh, that's good.
The princess, okay, look at Cinderella, right? She was she was cleaning, and she shouldn't have gone to the ball. She was an underdog at winning the glass.
That's actually a really good argument.
See?
That's a good one.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be the soldier. Look at John Rambo. He goes out to war.
See, that's what inspired me to do the underdog.
Yeah. Thousands and thousands of soldiers go overseas to fight, and you're an underdog. I mean, you could not come back. So you can apply that label to all of those other labels. You know, are you an underdog at becoming an entrepreneur? Right?
Yeah.
Right. Look at all the thousands of people that go on Shark Tank and all that.
Yeah. No, literally. You're right.
Underdogs can win it. So that could be part of your argument or your debate, which I know you're not afraid to debate.
Yeah, I go from that class to zombies, serial killers, and madmen. It's a great start to the morning. It's like 10 a.m.
Zombies, serial killers, and madmen?
Yes.
That's an actual class?
Yeah. Right now we're talking about Kenneth Parks, a man who murdered someone while sleepwalking. So was he responsible?
That's
yeah.
a good defense.
Lovely wake up call. Lovely.
That when mommy sleepwalks when she's home?
Very careful.
Set it up.
Better be careful.
She's setting it up for me. That's very interesting. The zombies.
Yeah. No words. No words.
Yeah. That's all, folks. Good night.
Thank you so much. There's literally nothing else.
That could be another episode, though. We might have to
There you go.
That could definitely be
the fascination with people wanting to watch true crime. Like, people love the true crime shows.
I get that. Yeah. And see, that's why, this show here, we've gone from Rocky to zombies, to true crime, to housewives and soldiers. That's why I like the name of our podcast, because, as much as we always do talk Rocky, we talk Rocky every week.
It always comes back to Rocky.
What's that?
I said it always comes back.
It does. Remember when we went to go meet Carl Weathers? What'd you say?
Which was so cool.
Right? But remember
cool.
We talked about Rocky, and then he talked about other movies and Star Wars and stuff. And then you said it all comes back to Rocky. He said, that's okay.
He was such a nice guy.
He knows what put him on the map. He's not silly. Yeah. But yeah, it can be labeled. All of those syllabus that are already on the syllabus can be labeled an underdog. Yeah. And that is your biggest argument of why it should be on there.
Yeah, no, you're right.
The ultimate underdog there he is, Mr. Balboa.
The one, the only.
Oh my goodness. Well, he is. I mean, and again, how much does it apply to life being, I know it's sad to say, but you graduate high school, you graduate college, you have all these goals and stuff, but what happens along the way? And that's why I'm so I should say pressured, but I apply the moving forward speech all the time to you or your sister or sometimes even myself, because it applies to everything. It applies to everything. And if you keep moving forward, and because life, trust me, when you get to my age, you'll see it's not all sunshine.
Here we go.
I won't do that. Don't worry.
He calls me after. Sophia, I didn't get to finish what I said.
I won't do it. Don't worry. But yeah, that could be good. So you have a couple weeks now before it has to be turned.
Yeah. So you turn in your first, because it ends up becoming a paper, even if you don't win.
Okay.
You end up still making your case in a paper and everything, but we turn in the thesis for why it should be the underdog in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then you turn in your paper, and before the papers are graded, we have like a class argument. And the class votes on which one they think should win. Okay. But you can't vote on your own, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of things to say to get to the college kids. Because this sounds so bad, but impressing a teacher is not hard. Because you know what to say. I'm not lying. You know what to say. Okay. Oh wow, your research, that was really fascinating. Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But to impress a bunch of tired 8 a.m. college kids to vote for you.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Well, just get out there and give it to them. And if it doesn't work out, just tell everybody bring boxing gloves. And
they're wrong.
Fight until they last one standing.
And be like, see, now you were the underdog.
That's right. That's right. And now I beat you all. So
good night.
So we'll have to do a show again after this is all done, so you can discuss how it worked out for you.
Yes.
But yeah, hopefully we'll do more shows and we'll be able to learn how to talk more, because it's not as easy as you think.
No, it's not. I talk a lot. What am I talking about? Nothing? I know.
I try to do the shows to be about 45 minutes or so, and we're still only at 25 minutes right now.
God, I feel like I'm dying.
So what you're saying is I should have put a timer on you, even at home?
The pressure.
Actually, or we could play, all right guys, I'll be telling you folks this because it's a family show now.
What is happening?
We used to tell them to play the statue game when they got too much.
Not this.
And they would just.
That should be illegal. That's illegal.
You won. It was good because, God forbid.
Because I don't ever lose. Yeah. I even knew that.
You'll be like, the game's over, Sophia.
No.
Sophia. The game's over.
No. I know he called me before this and I'm like, I have my notes and stuff. He's like, it's fun, Sophia. I'm like, no, you don't understand.
Did you go through all your notes? Did we cut base on all the subjects?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay. Well, they don't want to hear about our family stories. We'll show them our family movies next week. They're going to be like, oh God. Is this what I'm tuning in for every week? No, you're tuning in to see episode 31, The Underdog, and Sophia's paper, which will be amazing, and show us on how important it is to just keep moving forward, never give up, and you can achieve your goal.
Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you came on, honey. All right, you're done for the day. Yes. I'll let you go.
I'll see you. I'll talk to you.
All right, bye.
I'll talk.
Oh, she's too funny. Well, I'm glad she liked coming on, and I'm sure this is an interesting show for you guys to watch. So it's a little different than the normal, but it was fun. I had fun doing it. So thank you for tuning in again. I know it's another short episode. I'm so sorry. I'll have to come up with more content and more topics to discuss throughout, or maybe get 2 guest hosts on there, and maybe I'll bring Mrs. Stallion. We'll get Gina on here with Sophia. That'll be an interesting show. But that'll be it. I apologize again for the short show, but thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you like it, and give us some more ideas for Sophia's Underdog paper so she can have it on the syllabus. Thanks, guys. See you next week.